This is a Samsung UE32F4510AK 32-inch smart TV. It belongs to a friend of mine. The complaint is that it's out of warranty, and it when he was watching it, it just died, just went off, and doesn't do anything since. So no standby LED, nothing at all. So let's have a look. So I'm going to start by checking the power lead, because it's detachable. So we'll grab my meter and have a look. So put my meter on the continuity test, shove it in one of the holes. It should be connected to one of these pins. Yes. Yes. Now I've got a feeling that he changed the fuse, so I want to make sure the correct one is in there. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a 3 amp fuse, so that's fine. So let's get the unit apart then and have a look. There's a load of screws to remove by the looks of it, but the first thing I'll do is take off this CI common interface, card interface. Just remove like that. And there's a panel here. A little bit tricky. There it goes. And there's some connectors in here which I'll just unplug, hopefully. We'll have a look at those in a minute and work out how they come undone. So let's put the unit down. We'll start by taking off the stand. There we go. Stand. Let's have a look at these connectors. Right, there's two. This connector here, this little tabs that you need to push in, by the looks of it. So if I push those in, you should be able to just pull this connector out like that. So I'll undo all the screws. There's screws all the way around the back. I'm not going to film that. We'll come back once I've got the back off. Right, so I'm going to concentrate on the power supply, because that's normally where the place is, where this sort of place is a good place to start. I've already checked by measuring across these capacitors that there's no charge in them. So there's nothing in those. But what I have found, if I put my meter in diode check, these are the output diodes, rectifier diodes on the secondary of the power supply. And if I check across these two, which I believe are in parallel, it's reading absolutely zero. I'll switch my leads around. Also reading absolutely zero. So I think one or both of these is shorted. I went straight there, to be honest with you, because I've come across this problem before on a different model TV. It was a Toshiba last time. But the normal sort of behaviour, if I check this diode, which is on a different voltage rail, you'll see that the voltage drop across the transistor is certainly greater than zero. If I do it the other way around, so that the diode won't conduct this in this direction, you'll see the voltage gradually increase, the voltage drop gradually increase as the capacitors charge. and that's normal behaviour. This isn't. So let's get that board out and desolder those diodes. Samsung seem to have gone for these sort of easy release connectors on this TV. So this is the one for the backlight. So you just squeeze the two tabs together and lift it up. And this one is the actual power to the main logic board there. So squeeze these two together and just gently try and get them all at the same time. Try and pull the connector out. In fact, that one's not coming, so I'm going to disconnect it from this end instead, because this one's easier. So let's get that board out then. So let's undo the screws. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. And the board lifts out. And there we have one board. So let's have a look. Are those diodes in parallel? We'll soon find out. So, in fact, I can see from the traces straight away that they are, but just to prove a point, there you go. And the other side, yeah, so they're in parallel. So let's have those out. I'll just connect this. I'm going to have to leave that connector in place. It don't want to come out. So, right, let's get this out of the way, get my soldering iron out, and remove these diodes. So, as you saw already, these are the two diodes I'm going to be replacing. And as you can see on the bottom, their legs are here and here. So as you can see from the traces, they are wired in parallel. And then there's a third diode there which is doing something else. So I'm just going to reflow some lead-based solder onto there and then suck it up and remove the transistors. Diodes, I keep calling them transistors, what a plank. I'm going to do it off camera because it's a little bit awkward to solder on camera. So once I've done that, I'll come back. So as you can see, I've lifted one end of each of these diodes and I've got my meter on diode test mode. So if I test this one this way around, it's showing open circuit. Swap the probes around and test it this way around. We're showing a 0.23 volt drop across that one. However, if we test the other one, same polarity, 0. Swap the probes around, still 0. So this little diode here is shorted. So that's likely the cause of our problem. So I'll get that one out completely and see about getting a replacement. So as you can see, here we are with the two diodes removed. Here's the two diodes. Here's my meter. You can see the meter is in diode range, so if we go from, that should be open, which it is, swap that round. That's the good diode, but I've decided to replace both of them anyway, simply because of how what they cost. So this should show about 0.2 volts drop, but it doesn't, it shows 0. If I swap it around, this should be totally open circuit, but it shows 0, so it's a totally short circuit. So there you go, that's the problem with this TV. I'm going to end this video now and upload it, and when I've got the replacement diodes, I'll upload the second part showing you hopefully the TV back up and working.
I thought it better I insert this because I hadn't mentioned it in the video, but the diodes in question are SB5150 5 amp 150 volt Schottky diodes. I'm going to order them from a electronic supplier and install them, so you'll see that in the next video.
Bye bye.